In 2024, the Ping G430 driver range was one of the best performing and the best selling drivers of the year. I happen to think it was the driver of the people. However, we're now in November, unbelievable. And we know that the new drivers will be around the corner. I think it's imperative Ping do not make this mistake again in 2025. So what do we think is coming from Ping? Now, I'll get to see this in a couple of weeks. It will be embargoed sometime in January, but just like the tailor-made video we did a couple of days ago, I like to kind of think about what's maybe coming before I see it. Because once I've seen it, I can't talk about it, it's embargoed, and you sign your life away and they'll sue you for lots of money. Although not many people watch anymore, so probably not. But what do we think is going to happen? So Ping had the standard G430 Max, they had the G430 Max LST, the G430 Max SFT, and of course the G430 Max 10K eventually. We're going to get to that because I think the 10K Max was fantastic, but it was all wrong. Everything about it was wrong, and I think Ping had a little bit of a kind of PR nightmare about it. But let's talk about the G430 before we delve into what I think might be happening. So this is the LS Tech version. And I really like how this driver performs. I like how it performs, I like how it sounds, I like how it looks actually as well. That's a Monday morning drive and I'm quite astonished as to how well that's done. Now with the LS Tech version we have this. What do you notice about this, Bobby, here?
Carbon.
It is carbon, so just behind the turbulators, I'm hoping the turbulators disappear. We're going to delve into that because I've got a club in the bag that I'll explain why I've got an estimated opinion why they might go. That's just me. But so we have the carbon crown here. We also have the carbon crown on the 10K Max, but we didn't have, it's actually called the carbon fly wrap there. We didn't have that on the standard Ping G430 Max. I think that was a huge wide of the mark by Ping. I think they've missed a penalty in the last minute because people went and bought that driver thinking, oh, this is Ping's most forgiving driver, so perfect, I'll go with that and I'll have that. Then later on, we saw the 10K Max come out. Now the 10K Max realistically is what the Max should have been, isn't it? Like let's not pretend that the standard Ping G430 Max felt terrible. It sounded very tinny, didn't sound anything as good as like what this LS Tech does, because when you do have that carbon fly wrap on top, it kind of mutes the sound a little bit. It just makes it feel and sound that a little bit nicer for me. Also, when you look down at it on top, I think it just sits really, really nice. It sits nice, it looks nice. You can see we've got those kind of little shoulders there as well. And it almost helps with alignment with the look of that crown there. So personally, that's where I think Ping should go. They should all have that carbon fly wrap if that's the story you're trying to tell, if that's what you're going to do. Can we? You know what it's like? It's like putting a spoiler on a Corsa. It depends, it's got a luxury, so Bobby's Corsa's a luxury premium Corsa. I should know, I booked it in for the airport parking the other day. But it's really, really forgiving this, even the LS Tech version. And when we start to talk about the 10K Max, Bobby, you getting these? Like, this is unbelievable. They're bang next to each other, and it is Monday morning, and we've not really had a warm-up because, to be honest, I'm not too bothered about where these shots go. I'm just trying to kind of portray to you how I feel about the Ping G430 LS Tech driver. If I was going to have one in the bag, I spoke to Peter Finch about this because he had or has the 10K Max version in the bag and he loves it. But there's a bit of a problem potentially with the 10K Max because it performs too well for higher swing speeds. And if Ping want to make sure they have the most forgiving driver and it's the kind of high handicap or beginner driver, something along those lines, it has to be a little bit more easy to launch. Whereas the 10K Max, if you kind of had it at 9 degree, you could absolutely get some bullets out there and hit really good long drives. And I think it was a little bit kind of too low spin really for what a lot of people did want. Right, that's 3 in a row. Should I just put this in the bag for the rest of the year? Do you reckon? Right, so let's discuss in a little bit more length what I think's coming next year for Ping. It could get interesting. So I've titled this video something about Ping making a big mistake or a big error, and I stand by that because I think that the Ping loyalists are just that. They are the most loyal kind of equipment fans or equipment brand purchasers in the land. But I honestly think Ping did them a bit of a disservice by delaying the Ping 10K Max, G4 3010K Max. Because if you bought that standard version and you went and got fitted for it and you had no, because I didn't really know it was coming either, and I always think if we don't know it's coming, then you guys really don't know it's coming. So we do kind of get little bits of information dripped to us before, so we kind of know how to plan videos and stuff like that. That's just normal, that's human nature. But how bad did you feel if you went and spent £400 on it? Then, oh, by the way, I think £549. What do you reckon to these? That's unheard of for me, isn't it? That is absolutely unheard of. Really, really good driver. And Ping could quite easily turn around and go, you know what, the G4 3010K Max is still current. But I don't think they will, because I think they will change them. This is the first thing. So the first thing is they're going to change the name. They always change the name for branding, for marketing. I think they'll probably stick with G, because if we have a look in the bag, I've actually got this G400. And the G's been around since the dawn of time, realistically, hasn't it? We can see how things have transformed. You can see we had that dragonfly, was it, Rob, there? Oh, I don't know. Was it dragonfly or butterfly? Maybe butterfly. There was an inverted one as well. So I always got it mixed up with the Dragonfly Effect, which was a film with Ashton Kutcher, but it was terrible. So, but yeah, this was a standard version. You can see it's got the weight back and things like that, and it had the forged hot face. Forged hot face, I think it was. That's actually the LS Tech version there. But yeah, I think they'll stick with that, and I also think they'll change. They generally change the colour schemes, don't they? So, what haven't they had? Like we've had blue there, the G2. That's how long they've been around in the G. I think they probably go like red.
They did red not long ago, didn't they, though?
They did red not long ago in the G410. You're right, Rob. No, what do they go next? They have gone red.
Maybe just all black.
Oh, stealth. Stealth that. Oh, you can't say that. Can't say that. Another thing I think they'll do is I think they'll talk quite a lot about aerodynamics with the new one, because although Ping have had obviously the turbulators which are designed for aerodynamics, and they've got what you could class as almost a bit of an inertia generator here where that movable weight is, I think Ping haven't really gone down the route of, or the route of, route, what are we saying? Route.
Route's American.
Route's very American, is it? Sorry. But I think they haven't really gone down that alleyway too much. Or a ginnel. No, stop. Just get on with it. A snicket. We've got the forged face still in here, but I think they'll make it that aerodynamic kind of underneath, under the hood. That's what allows them to get rid of the turbulators. And again, this is all just here, like, it's not even hearsay. This is what comes in my head, what I would do if I was a Ping engineer. Why I think that is because generally when you look at fairway woods, and this is something I've noted, you can start to see where they're going to want to go with the drivers moving forward. So this is obviously the G430 fairway wood. It doesn't have the turbulators. It still has that carbon fly wrap, but you'll also note how the carbon fly wrap on that kind of morphs into it a little bit, you know, rather than it's sectioned off and glued in. So you can see how it's almost totally different looking, but it's the same material and the same technology. I think that's potentially where they go with it, and I actually think this is one of the best golf clubs of the year. It feels better than the last ones, and that's a really big thing I can say about it, because Ping often haven't been known to feel or sound the best unless you're a Ping guy. And only a Ping guy will know if they're a Ping guy. Were you a Ping guy, Robbie? Titleist guy. So you've gone from what's traditionally the kind of game improvement to the more players stuff. Right. Will there be any more tech in the face, do you think? Imagine if they came out with a carbon face. That'd be outrageous, wouldn't it? I'm not sure they would. It's not really their thing, but then I suppose we never thought we'd see a carbon crown for Ping. If we hit the fairway 3 times here, that's going to be absolutely outrageous, by the way. It's in play. Right, that actually did really well to say where I struck it out of, but I think another thing that might happen here is Ping will have to do something for either the golf pros that are stuck with the stock of the G4 3010K Max, because such as a shop here at Woolley Park Golf Club, they're still at full price at kind of $549, and Ping will have to do something with that. They can't just say, oh, by the way, there's a load of new drivers kind of middle of the release year, and then stick with them. But what's going to happen with that? Are they just going to discount them? Are they going to help them with stock so you can move them through? Would you go and get, because let's face it, the 10K driver was fantastic, but it felt like Ping and TaylorMade were kind of in a race to get it out. Did you think that as well? Like 10k hasn't really been a thing for ages, and then bang, you need a 10k initial driver. I don't know, it didn't really sit that well with me. I didn't really understand it, but I'm not a marketing wizard, am I? I'm just make terrible golf videos. So there we go. There we go. I really, really like this, and whenever I put this kind of driver in my hands, I always like it. I never leave a Ping G430, especially the LS Tech version, feeling disheartened or feeling like I've kind of left some shots out there. So guys, get in the comments below, what do you think is going to be coming from Ping in 2025? Is it going to be carbon? Is it going to be pink? Is it going to be blue? And is it going to be in your bag? Will it be in your bag, Bobby? No. No. Oh, that was a very quick no. Just consistent. It's just consistent. What I think they'll do, I think they narrow down the range a little bit. I don't think they can have 4 drivers in the range anymore. I just don't think that's sustainable for them. I don't think it's right for the customer because there's far too many to go for. I think they'll double down on their custom fitting, because Ping's custom fitting, I'd say it's second to none. It's probably up there with PXG. I think PXG's kind of custom fitting around the country and around the world is probably the best, and Ping's probably not far behind them, if not level with them. So they do that. They have a head that's probably more adjustable than ever. What's it going to be called? I think G5, imagine G500. G500, a big leap for man.
For 2025.
You've got it, Bobby. It's going to be the Ping G 2025. There you go.